The dog, it barks at the moon in the sunlight chapel.
If that's true, then the owl sleeps through breakfast. Okay.
It wears its glasses in its pocket.
Construction 3.
Building?
Mm-hmm.
Chapel?
Are
you Butterfield?
I am. I'm Butterfield 2, the first one.
I can never get this right. Oh, that wasn't working out at all.
It's okay.
It doesn't matter. Anyway, you've for those who've just joined us. This is We Are Not Wizards. It is a what is it? It's a Counter Spy favorite.
Yeah.
You see where I get that from?
Oh yeah.
And you might recognize the voice I'm with. I'm joined tonight by Gary Butterfield, who is known to be for Bonfireside Chat, for Watch Out with Fireballs, along with Kole Ross. He runs the DouglasVB TV the network. Mm-hmm. And hello, Gary. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing, Richard?
Yes, I'm fine.
Thanks for having me.
I am very, very glad to have you on tonight. It's should be a bit fun as long as we get our spy words kind of sorted out. Which
we'd both be dead many times over.
Yeah, I'm going to be
spies. Yeah. I'm such a bad liar. So
I would just be terrible. I would just be like, arrest me now.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd go up and they'd say the dog barks at the, I don't know, cats, dogs, other dogs,
mailmen, anything really,
cats.
Ghosts.
I just go up and go, Richard Simpson, how are you?
Yeah,
and try and do a rubbish accent.
Yeah.
Anyway, as I say, we're joined tonight by Gary. We're just going to have a little chat, and we hope you enjoy it. But obviously, we're here to talk about board games. Mm-hmm. The reason that we do this, as we say on every show, is there is not enough podcasts out there about board games, mm-hmm. and there's also not enough podcasts out there by two chaps.
Let's get two white guys to talk about their opinions.
That's always a good thing to have.
It's the thing the world's been waiting for.
I wonder what would happen if you searched on iTunes for two white guys giving opinions.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody puts them as their tags.
Yeah. But it's a missed opportunity.
I think, well, I'm going to go and change my metadata just now in iTunes, because that's an easy thing to do. But yeah, we're here to talk about some board games because for those who know Gary from other places, he talks about a certain video game and other video games, and you do a lot of video games. But board game wise, are you a fan of board games? Do you play yourself?
I am, though. Most of my kind of time at the table is done doing RPGs. I have a weekly RPG night, but with that same group, we will play board games. We actually, once a year, and it's coming up, we finally got it on the calendar. Mm-hmm. We do a retreat. So for a weekend, we go out to a cabin. This year, we rented a ski chalet, which is pretty cool. And we're going to...
Can you ski?
No, it's August, so there's no skiing. That's why it was cheap. But we're indoor kids. We're just going to stay inside and play board games for 2 straight days. And
that sounds
cook a bunch of good food.
That sounds fantastic.
Very fun. And my friend Levi, who is part of that group, is how I get exposed to a lot of new board games, because he is a connoisseur and a big purchaser of board games, and we'll bring them to that. And then really good ones will kind of trickle in throughout the year. The ones that we really like, we'll play throughout the year as well.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So how did you mention RPGs? And we can talk about RPGs. So, how did you get into the kind of the RPG playing type thing? How did you get on?
So I was always kind of a fantasy kid. I liked fantasy books and movies and the like, and would read kind of trashy, young adult fantasy novels, including the Hickman and Weiss Dragonlance books when I was in middle school. And I was always kind of peripherally aware of D&D through those books and through just kind of pop culture and the cartoon. Have you ever seen that cartoon? It's pretty special.
No.
It's worth looking up.
I'll have a check. You send me with a link and I'll have a look at it.
Yeah, I think the first episode is on YouTube.
All right, okay. No, I'll definitely check it. Check it out.
It's not precisely good, but it is it's unusual.
Cheesy.
Yeah.
Does it have a theme tune?
It does actually. Yeah. It's an instrumental theme. Unfortunately, it's not like a rock song about.
I wasn't
going
to ask you. So.
I probably would have involuntarily if it had one.
Really?
Okay.
We can maybe put that in later on if we sing at the end, because
we'll cut it in.
We sing an outro. We could put that in at the beginning, because I think that might work.
Yeah.
There you go. That'll work.
I would have to refresh my memory on how the theme song goes. It's been a long time since I've seen the cartoon. But so I just kind of knew about it, and then I met a guy named a friend of mine named Sean, with his older brother who played and just asked me to play, and I just got into it from there, and kind of fell in love with it and started playing D&D, and then started playing Shadowrun, which I got into because of the video games, the Nintendo and the Genesis games.
I played a little bit of Shadowrun when it was out on the consoles, and it was only later on I was like, oh, there's books.
Mm-hmm.
There's flicky books, and they've got rules, and they've got tables, and they've got dice, and they've got this looks.
Boy, did they have tables! Like that is a crunchy system. Like that is
They love a dice. They love a D20.
Yeah.
They're mad for it. But yeah, so I mean, you continue with have you always been playing the RPGs since then? Has that been kind of like your thing? Or?
I took a long kind of break, but got back into it actually through Brayton Cameron, who you may know from the network. He's a guest on shows and on the Pitch and Teenage Dirtbags. He kind of was like, we should do this, and I got back into Shadowrun with a group of his friends. And then when I moved so we played that for a couple of years, and then when I moved to Portland, that is how I met like my Portland friends, was finding a gaming group online, because it's hard if you move to a new city as an adult. How do adults make new friends? It is difficult to do without a structure, you know.
I know, and it's difficult to do without kind of feeling completely embarrassed about the whole situation. As well.
Absolutely.
Up to people for the sort of go. Hi,
I signed up for a comic meetup thing when I was first in town. Just like I want to meet some people and talk about comics, and they said that they would be at a place, and then they weren't, and that place was like an hour bus ride away. So I got stood up for it, and I was just like, I felt so embarrassed and like, and hurt by this really dumb thing of just these strangers changing their plans without telling me. But it transported me right back to like high school or 8th grade of like being picked on and stuff, and it was
being left really in the dark, being told, we're definitely meeting at the malt shop at 7:30, and then on Tuesday. Oh, did we say Tuesday? We meant Thursday, Saturday, Friday.
Do you want to go out with my friend Carla? You know, and just like, oh yeah, and then like,
yeah, she'd be nice.
Yeah,
and then like turns out Carla only wants to go out with you because Carla's never dumped a guy before.
On a bet. yeah. It is her staring into the void to see if it'll stare back. Staring into
the abyss.
It was the exact same kind of abyssal field kind of thing. It's so hard to meet people, but I like stumbled across like really great people like Levi and I mentioned my friend Nick, and our game group, which I meet with every week, and is my best friends who are local here.
Well, that's incidentally how me and Colin met, was through not in a dating sense, kind of just no, but he was I turned up at the local group. He was there. Our eyes met. There was a little sing-song in the air, and the next thing we know, we're playing. I think it was Rampage. We played, which, So that's I mean, these gaming groups are good because there's a lot of. They're quite accepting. I've kind of, a lot of folk, I kind of walked in and just said, this is who I am, and I've got a couple of games, and folks said, pull up a chair, you can kind of play. So from there, what you mentioned you got your group eventually together in Portland. So did you go back to Shadowrun, or were you trying other things?
We've gone through a variety of things. So me and then my friend Levi typically run games. And we kind of go back and forth. Right now, I am running a fairly long. We're about 2/3 of the way through a very long Call of Cthulhu campaign.
Oh.
I bought a box set called Horror on the Orient Express. That is a
Sounds amazing. Who did it? Everybody did it.
Yeah, exactly.
I picked the tentacle boy up the back on the right hand side. I didn't do it.
to prepare, like the night we made characters, we also watched Murder on the Orient Express, the Pro version. And a lot of us had never seen any Pro before, and that shit's very funny. Like that guy, he's just like he just barks out like French angryisms in response to everything. That's a good detective right there.
See, over in the UK, we actually had I don't know if you've ever seen it. We had the actual. There was a Poirot series that went on UK TV with David Suchet. So I knew him from there, and they did an actual Murder on the Orient Express special, I believe. But the Orient Express,
that's the one we watched. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. And
sorry,
Peter Ustinov one's the one I know as well.
Yeah. I just know the Suchet version. We watched it on just on YouTube, but it was on PBS. It aired here.
Oh, cool.
And he's great, but he's so ornery. Like he's such a cranky boy. Like during that whole thing.
Hastings, come over here. Look at this. Except I made him sound Mexican. He was in disguise. He was on a train.
Whereas in real life, he sounds like French Wolverine. Like just like Baba.
Sniff. Claws.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, how long's the Cthulhu campaign gonna last then?
Oh, I think that we're probably. I mean, this is longer than we usually play a single game, and I think that some people are a little bit done with it. We probably have another between like 5 and 7 more weeks of it.
Whoa.
Which it's at the end it'll be kind of cool. Like we'll have done a very long storyline, that was all kind of cohesive. But I'm looking forward to not running a game, for a little while, like taking a break because it's preparation and stuff.
Do you have to do all the characters then? Do you do all the different voices and stuff like that as well?
I do, but I'm pretty selective about when I do it because I can't hold an accent for more than a line before it kind of turns into a pan-European kind of mess.
I'm the same. I always start off. I think everything I end up trying every type of accent I do kind of ends up sounding like Welsh.
Yeah.
No matter what. My Sean Connery, even though I'm Scottish, Welsh. My Michael Caine. He only meant to blow the dolls off. Boyo. Kind of thing.
Just dropped in.
Made an absolute mess of it. Obviously, you mentioned the retreat coming up. So, I mean, one of the things that we, obviously on the show that we talk about, is we do talk about what we got to the table as well as what we're planning to get off the shelf. But the reason that we did dear listener, the reason that we did the kind of the wonderful intro that we did, which wasn't, as you can tell, we just ad-libbed that.
Oh, I didn't ad-lib it. I've been rehearsing it for weeks.
I know. So I noticed. I saw from the show notes.
Yeah.
And my goodness, you made a worse mess of the show notes than Paddy did when he was on. That was just absolute filth. You can't just put everything so it's a rude word. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
leave that there.
I got the idea from Paddy. I learned it from him.
Well, he is the best. Yeah. He is the best. But no, one of the games that we have that you've been, I know you've been playing, and that I have been playing an awful lot of is Codenames, and I think everybody is playing Codenames at the moment because it recently won. It won an award for Game of the Year. Now, for those who aren't aware of Codenames, it's by the Czech Games edition, and you can pick it up. It's cheap. I mean, it's really not cheap as in cheap. It's inexpensive.
Yeah,
I think I want to say. But you can get it for about, I think I got my copy for about £12 or something, so that's going to be about, well, the current exchange rate, that's going to be probably about $15 or something.
It's exactly $15 is how much I paid for Yeah,
there you go, and you can get it on the following places. For those people that don't know anything about Codenames, you want to explain to people what it's about, Gary? What do you actually do in it?
Yeah. So Codenames is a word game, asynchronous word game. You play along with a teammate. You arrange a set of words in a 5x5 grid. And these words have, some of them are your agents, who you want your opponent to pick. Some of them are your opponent's agents, which you do not want, that will do well for the other team if they pick them. Some of them are civilians, which are kind of a wash. They just end your turn. Yeah. And one of them is the assassin. And if your opponent picks that word, that's it.
Game over.
Game over. So your job as the clue master is you get to say one word and one number. And the word, so let's say that I want you to guess truck, truck, fuel, and let's just say truck and fuel and keep it simple. Then I might say gas 2. Yeah. So you're looking at this sea of words, 25 different words, and choosing what words I could mean by that clue. And the tricky thing is not only when the thing I love about Codenames is it has that feeling of kind of easy to learn, but there's more depth to it than you maybe think. Yeah. Is because as the clue giver, my strategy is not just choosing the best word; it's choosing the best word that doesn't apply to the assassin or apply to my opponent's words. Yeah. So in this, if I said gas 2 and there was a word on there that was like I don't know.
Balloon.
Balloon. There we go. On there as well. I don't want you to guess balloon, so I wouldn't use gas. I want to try to find something better than that. Yeah. And then your additional strategy is not only you're doing that, but you're keeping if you don't get it, you're keeping a running log of words that I've said for future turns. Because I think the subtlest and kind of coolest mechanic in Codenames is that you can guess one extra turn. So if I said 2, you can guess 2, but you can also guess one additional one if you want to push your luck. Exactly. And you kind of draw back to past turns to choose that one. So it's very neat.
It depends who you're playing with as well, because I've played it at the club, and obviously the intellect and kind of experience on playing these type of games is can be quite high. So they're quite good at kind of picking up and going, okay, anatomy 4, and they'll go for it half the time. So there'll be eyes, legs, arms and things, whereas I also play it with my kids. It's become such a popular game with my kids. We got 10 minutes to do, we got 10 minutes to kill. We're going to go out just 10 minutes before when we go out somewhere. What do you want to do? And we get Codenames out, and it's very, very easy to set up. The 25 words down, you both select your cards, and then I think my son was trying to... Well, I was playing the Spy Master because the Spy Master gave out the clues, and the word on the board was straw, and I said suck, and he picked calf, and I went, why you picked calf? He says because calves suckle the mother cow's milk. I was like, I don't even know you. I sent him to his room for the rest of it. But then you get that because this is the thing, is something that's fairly obvious to you, and it's like the words can be, I could say the word could be sword, or there could be sword and moon sitting down on there. Now I could say the word night. Now you might look at night and go, now if in your mind you're thinking it's the NIGHT night, then you're going to pick moon. If you've got say sword, moon and wolf, if somebody says to you night, they could go, oh, it's definitely the moon and the wolf. Right. Whereas if they think it's the KNIGHT, they might go, well, it's the sword. Right. So you get that different one as well. So it can depend on how well you know the person sometimes as well. But it's just, it's a good fun game.
I was really hoping that your son would have, when he picked calves and you asked him why, he would have just been like, calves suck. I hate them. What?
Exactly.
They're nature's
Death
dorks.
to calves.
Yeah.
Exactly. Give me some veal.
Yeah, give me some cows, but no calves.
I don't want calves.
I just like the end of this song.
Give me 4 calves. 4 calves.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So no, but you get that side of things, and it can create some real things where you're just like going, "What are you doing?" But you can't. That's the other thing. You can. We've have a rule that you can't. If you're choosing the words, that you're not allowed to verbally kind of. You just got to point at the cards.
Oh yeah.
So you're not allowed to actually respond back at all, so you can't ask is it this one? It could be this one, or they even put their thoughts out there. And sometimes that's a good thing, because if they're then stringing a whole pile of words together, as you said, they're using not only this clue, but they're trying to think about the clue that was 2 or 3 words ago as well. Then you just say, right, okay, point and say what it is, or point and there you go. But,
you can't cheat. There's like kind of like just a gentleman's agreement that's implicit in most board games, but is really powerful here, where you don't talk with your eyes, you don't you don't do anything like that. And one of the things I like about Codenames is that like it would be so easy to do that. If you wanted to be a monster, you could get together with your partner beforehand and be like, I'll hold up 3 fingers on my drink when you're pointing in towards the wrong thing, and 2 if it's the right thing. But the game feels low stakes enough and fun enough, and like I haven't had a lot of games.
There's no bad losers, is there? I mean, if you're a bad loser at this, then have a word with yourself.
Absolutely. It's felt very very evenly matched a lot of times when I've played. Like I haven't had a lot of like just runaway successes in Codenames. It just they're always kind of close games. And
it's not like a planned out situation, is it?
Yeah. It's and alternatively, so it's not unfrustrating because it's about luck. It's very much about skill. So when you give like a really, really good clue, or you make a really good intuitive leap, those are 2 different feelings. One of them makes you feel very smart. One of them makes you feel very deductive, like smart in a different way. I feel better playing this game than I do. It's like an instant gratification that rather than like what comes after 20 turns of Catan. And like this thing I've built kind of comes like I'm not a big Catan guy, but like that's the first thing that came to mind. Like 20 turns of creating this empire has come together. I just feel like it's like that was a good clue. That was clever. It's a clever game. Like I feel clever playing it.
And that's why my kids like it as well, because when we walk away after a game, if we're playing, say, and I play a fair number of games with the kids. If we play, like, say, Escape from Atlantis, it's like, well, halfway through the turn, you got your shark and it ate all my swimmers. So there's sometimes bad blood. And I'll just say, thank goodness those pieces are wooden.
Yeah.
Because they can hit hard.
Yeah.
But
if they really wanted to get you, they'd leave them on the floor. Like, they make them like Legos. Like
side of the
step
bed.
on them. Yeah.
Yep. A shark fin is not a nice thing at 6 o'clock in the morning with no socks.
No.
But no, I mean, they walk away from the game and there's never any bad blood, because it's almost like you are kind of in control. Nobody can, like, you're always working together with a person opposite you. There's nobody kind of like planning. You're not while you're going up against other people on the team. You're never kind of really, it's never going to be a case that like 10 minutes down the road you're kind of winning and everything's fine and everything's good. But I can see why it kind of won the awards that it did, because it's one of these games that I could take to the office and say, "Shall we have a game?" and everybody could pick it up in 10 minutes.
Yeah. And
then
the PvP part is really subtle. Like that, you do things to kind of to mess up your opponents, but it's not oblique. Yeah,
I thought you were. Yeah, I thought you were going there mentioning PvP.
No. Yeah,
I thought you were going there.
Just
what is he doing? We had a chat.
It just sneaks into real life. I can't help it.
It's like, no, don't.
The competitive part is.
I don't think anyone noticed. We're fine. Right, keep going.
The competitive part is so subtle. And if you're doing it well, because you can throw out clues, your opponent's team is listening, just like real spies. Like, what you're saying being picked up is also important. Again, there's this kind of third level strategy where you're doing that, but no one will ever really know it unless you're a real douchebag and like kind of brag about it at the end. It's subtle, so it doesn't feel mean spirited. Like playing this game, it's like a cooperative, competitive game, and it can be very fun 2 players as well, just cooperatively. Like just we're just gonna do this back and forth for a little while to figure out how the other person's brain works.
Well, usually with the kids, it's we have one person plays the spy master, and then the other 2 play the guessers, and that's how that it kind of works that way, because you can't be no, it's the other way around. What am I thinking? I'm getting old in my old age. It's you get 2 spy masters and 1 guesser, so it means that it's all on the clues and the guessing, and you can't really accuse them of purposefully not getting the clues, because it's almost like there's a little bit of an emphasis on the person that is doing the guessing getting the guessing right, because they want to say, look, I got it, I get rewarded for this by a nice little kind of red card or a blue card on there, it's quite good. Looks wise, it's the artwork's nice. It's very, very simple. You get a whole pile of words to play with, so replayability, there is it's not a case that you're going through cards and then even if you were playing this for like 8 hours straight or something and you went back through the cards again, you're always going to have different permutations of the words. And even the board, that you have a little kind of card that you select which tells you where the different spies are on either team, and that can change. I mean, you can flip them round 90 degrees every time, so the variations are just they're ridiculous. But it's one that we play a lot,
Something I haven't done, but people have talked about, is that you could play this with a set of cards from the game Mysterium.
Really?
Yeah, some people talked about that, which is a cool idea, I think, because those are images. So you'd jot it down, but you just have these random images of things as well. But any kind of random assortment of nouns.
That's the next version I've heard that they're doing. They're doing another version which is just pictures. So I don't know how I'm going to wonder how that's going to kind of work. So obviously it's going to be interpretation of the pictures. Apparently there's also a not safe for work version as well.
Okay.
Which I don't see, neither here nor there. If they want to do it, then that's fine. They've got their 10 minutes in the sunshine, so they might as well make as much hay as they possibly can, But for anyone that's interested, if you're looking for something that's an introduction, I like a nice little light party game that if you bring it out, if you bring out Catan in front of like a group of people that haven't played board games, there's a chance they're going to go, sticks, hexagons, not sure. Codenames is going to be, well, how do I learn it? Well, you just pick the words and you're away, kind of thing. So,
and it's not one of those games where you're going to lose the first time no matter what. Yeah. Like that's the thing about learning board games, which I like doing. Like I like playing new board games, but I get bummed out if they are. So at the game retreat, we played the Game of Thrones like big serious strategy board game, which I think is actually kind of good, but it was like a 4-hour game that I knew I was going to lose an hour in, and it's just like, okay, this 4 hours is a wash. And that's how
you're just going through the motions, aren't you? Really?
You try, if you can try to learn from the rest of the experience, but it can be a bummer to have your first game just always be a wash. And that's how I feel about a lot of like real kind of like heavy Euro games and big strategy games. I don't gravitate towards those because my time is just too limited to like, I have to play this 3 times before I get it. That's exactly. 12 hours. Like I have stuff I need to do. Whereas,
I've got to go to the shops.
Like
I've run out of milk.
Yeah. Someday I have to sleep. I can't,
exactly.
I have a job. Whereas this is, you're not going to lose the first game automatically. And the other thing too that I like about it, that's to suggest it, is that, growing up playing like real basic, whenever everybody plays the kind of Hasbro board games, the ones I always gravitated towards were things that were like categories or Taboo. I love Taboo. Taboo is my favorite old game. And the reason why I love Taboo is because it's not like Boggle where it's about how words are spelled or constructed. It's about what words are about. It's about a word meaning, and I think that's really cool. Like that's much more interesting to me than spelling as a mechanic.
Yeah.
Spelling feels very like, oh, it's okay. Like I'm either good at this or I'm not. You know, every time I play Boggle with somebody, you spend forever digging through a dictionary.
It's like that, or it's Scrabble. Where some
totally,
you
exactly.
Get the argument. Egg is a word.
Yeah, exactly.
Egg is a word.
Yeah,
egg is a word.
And then you get out those damn Scrabble dictionaries, and like I'm so I never have fun playing Scrabble or Boggle, but I love games where it's about what words are about, and Codenames is so about that.
Yeah, and it is down to the it's it's the interpretation and the meaning again. Yeah. So it's like what a word will say to somebody, and then you get obviously. Some people thinking that the word straw is obviously equal to the word calf.
Yeah, exactly. I'd never thought of an udder as a straw, like a meat straw.
No, but, I just thought, no,
he's not wrong.
Like no, he's not, because that was what he thought. And I just like that. You're either being incredibly clever about this, you're overthinking this to the point. But I think when you've got the grid, especially if I think it was at the beginning of the game, so. We'd already had a couple of bystanders and nobody had actually scored, so he was staring at this for like 2 minutes, and it got so annoying that my daughter you got the egg timer that you can bring out to say, right, okay, you're going to run out of time. So I think in a panic he just went, calf. Yeah. And I looked at him as the only way a father could and went, no son, that's the blue teams. Get out.
Even that timer mechanic is so like chill. Like it kind of lends to the tone of this game, which is not a more like the way that so games communicate tone through rules. Like they want you to have a certain kind of feeling while you're playing, and if they wanted you to be more stressed out, it would be like a larger timer and you put it out immediately. Yeah, exactly. It'd be codified. You have 2 minutes to guess. Instead,
it becomes a joke. It does become a little joke. It's nothing serious.
Exactly. They make it kind of fun. Like it's just like, okay, this is a goofy way you can tell somebody they're taking too long, and it's totally up to your discretion. So if you have a group where like you're sitting around and you're having beers, and maybe you don't care if someone takes a while or someone tells a story in the middle of the game, the rule allows for that. Like the game allows for a hangout vibe that is really appealing to me in a way that like a game that is more structured doesn't.
Yeah. It doesn't take itself too seriously, and it lends it's aware of what it is, which is cool, which is all good.
I love that about it.
So if you want, as I said, Codenames, it is by Vladi Shivatel. He's been involved in a couple of other really, really decent games. It's by Czech Games Edition. As we said, you can pick it up for about £12 or about $15 based on the current exchange rate. In terms of things, I'd say yes. Gary, would you?
Oh yeah.
Sound like you? Yeah. Let's kind of get that. The next game that the next thing that we normally do is we also have like a get them to the table. So the question for yourself is, are there any kind of games? You obviously, with you coming up to the end of the Call of Cthulhu kind of role-playing game that you're playing, are there any games that you're kind of coveting at the moment that you would maybe like to have a go of, that you've seen, that you've heard a little bit about? Anything that's kind of struck you recently?
The two things I think about, kind of tabletop wise, role-playing wise, I want to give the Cypher system a shot as a Monty Cook Games, the tabletop version of Tides of Numenera, which is the Kickstarter for the follow-up to Planescape Torment, best written video game of all time, is I really want to try that tabletop game. I've heard really good things about it. I like rules light RPGs. But as far as board games go, me and my roommates did a campaign of Pandemic Legacy recently.
Really? Yeah. I think I did you not mention that on the on Slack or something on Twitter recently? Yeah.
Yeah. And
what do you think of it? How did you get on with it? Because I'm intrigued about this.
It's so I don't love Pandemic, vanilla Pandemic. It's okay. The legacy stuff kept me going, and the ritual of it kept me going. Like just like once a week we're gonna work together and see if we can get to the end of this bigger thing. Made it really work for me. So it was very fun. It has a really mechanically problematic ending. to the season.
Okay.
And the story of season 1, the twist of the story of season 1 is something that I would have expected them to save for season 2. So I'm really curious where they'll go from here without spoiling anything.
Yeah. Because for those people that aren't aware, a legacy game is essentially it would be like basically you can change you can change permanently certain mechanics of the game, and the way that the legacy game works is you obviously correct me if I'm wrong, but based on how you play the game, how you win and lose the game, then certain cards and certain kind of almost like features will become available, and based on your performance you'll open and add maybe changes in diseases or changes in cures, and it can drastically alter how you play the game. Now obviously that means that you'll start the season with the board looking one way and you might finish the season with a board looking completely different. I know some people that don't like the legacy system just because they like their board games pristine, but I know some people that are like, well, I don't get to play board games enough. I'm realistic about my board games. The ones I do play, I maybe play once or twice a year, so if I'm going to play something I might as well get the best out of it. So that's for those people that aren't aware.
It was amazing value. Like I thought that too, like, oh, we're essentially ruining this, but we got it was like $40 split between 4 people, and we got a good like 12 sessions out of it. So it was like less than $1 a session per person. Like, even as a disposable product, it's an amazing value. If you get your buddies to kind of kick in for it with you.
And it does require commitment, though. I mean,
yes.
I guess that's the one thing, is it is a full season you've got to play, so it does almost become like an RPG campaign. Is that you have got to say Descent, for instance, or that kind of game where you can play through an entire campaign, but you've got to keep going to get the full thing out of it.
I don't know how much to say about this, but the reason why I brought that up though is that that kind of got me interested in other legacy games, and I think the next one we're going to try is Time Stories. Do you know Time Stories?
I was playing it last Friday.
Oh, okay. What do you think? Is it worth our time? Is it good?
Yes.
Okay.
It requires a certain type of mindset, and I think you really need to be in a kind of an analytical mood. But the premise behind Time Stories is there's the I'm going to sound awful, but one of my films which I thoroughly enjoyed recently was Edge of Tomorrow, or Live, Die, Repeat with Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt. And it was basically, that's what Time Stories is. Time Stories is living a situation, learning what you're meant to do and what you're not meant to do, and then going back and reliving that situation, but doing certain things in order to either speed up your progress or prevent things from happening in the game. And I don't want to spoil it, because the essence of the story, it is basically, here's a scenario, you have got to do X, Y, Z within a set amount of time. So the first time you play it on, you play it in a number of rounds, and it doesn't really matter the number of rounds that you take. There's kind of win-lose conditions that you have, but you play it through and you'll say, okay, I'm gonna, if you look at the analogy, would be you get up in the morning and you decide that you're going to go downstairs and make breakfast and go to the shop because you've run out of milk. But on the way, because you're going to the shop, you end up being involved in a car accident because of that kind of thing. So the next thing was, well, what you would do is you would decide to have something else different to eat for breakfast, so you wouldn't have to get the milk, so you wouldn't have to go out and be involved in the car crash kind of thing. So that's in essence how kind of Time Stories kind of works. It's a 4-player, so you need 4 players on, and again, it's a campaign game, but it was fascinating. It's really, really analytical, and it makes you make choices that you will make mistakes on. So there's no obvious kind of
right answer.
If it's like, oh, there's a shady looking guy in the corner, do you go up and speak to him and bargain your way in it? And so every time you do something like that, you use up a unit of time, and you only have 25 units of time in a round to do investigations and moves and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you might go up to this guy and talk to him, and he turns around and says, "I don't want to talk to you because today I am Captain Donkey." And, and that's you've wasted that turn. But next time you know not to go and talk to somebody or not do this or not do that. So, there's quite a few expansions for it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is, you play it once and you really, really can't go back, and it'll be difficult to play it again without pretending to be ignorant. So it almost becomes like an original. If you played it again, it would almost become like an original Pandemic game where you know the solution, so you'd almost be pushing people to do things a certain way.
Yeah, you don't want a quarterback. Like, that's a big problem in Pandemic. Having one person who knows a game is the reason I can't play. Everybody I know really loves Battlestar Galactica. And I've never gotten over the hump with that game because I always play with people who know it really well, who just kind of end up telling me what to do.
Yeah.
And even when I'm and I'm so bad at deception games, like I'm so bad at lying that when I'm a Cylon, I might as well just be drawing pictures of sexy robots on a notepad, and
you're just sitting there going zoom zoom. Zoom, zoom. Gary, what are you doing? Zoom, zoom.
Nothing.
Nothing. Zoom, zoom. Zoom, zoom. Gary, are you a Cylon?
No.
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 I'm not. No, die human. No, not at all.
Brayton, you are the one who is the Cylon.
Yeah, you get yourself to Caprica.
Yeah.
I don't want to look at you. Anybody want any toast?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, if from what I've played, I mean, this is the thing, is we started playing Time Stories on Friday, so that's going to be something that we're going to kind of continue with over the next couple of weeks when we go to the club. So yes, I would say,
very cool. Good to know.
We've played one round, but I would think if you were splitting it, are you just splitting the cost and then kind of going for it yourselves?
I think my ex-roommate Will already bought it.
Oh,
so
cool.
I think it's already bought. We just have to find the time to get together and do it. So yeah.
No, I would definitely. It doesn't take that well. I think you need probably a good 3.5 hours, 2 to 3 hours. I think the thing to go in with these things is if you can. The deck's usually set up. When you open up, the deck's ready and it's ready to go. And the idea is you don't go in and play about with the deck because it can spoil it for yourself. Mm-hmm. So you set the deck up and then you're kind of ready to go. But yeah, we found 2.5, 3 hours. 2.5 hours you didn't quite get it done, but 3.5 hours you will get kind of it done, because the pace of the game really, really picks up. And you also become really kind of animated because you'll get somebody go, no, you remember, you got to go here, and then you've got to go here, and I've got to go and get back, and I've got to do this. So it is, it's good fun. So you guys should enjoy it. So there was another game that I saw, a legacy game called Seafell.
Yeah.
Which is by Plaid Hat Games, who are now owned by Asmodee, I think, who are currently buying up everywhere. I'm thinking of making a board game just so they can buy us up and give us lots of money. But that's another game I've seen which seems to be a legacy one. One of the other games, I think, I don't know if you've heard of it. We've heard Scythe, which was it's kind of like it's set in the 1920s after the First World War, and it's like what happens if there was like mechanoids and stuff like that around, big huge dreadnoughts and things. So. That is, we're gonna get our hands on that, and are gonna hopefully be playing that as well. Is there anything else that you're kind of looking at the moment?
I mentioned Mysterium.
Yes.
Yeah, I would like to try Mysterium as well. I've only heard about it. I've never played it. I'm thinking about picking it up for a game retreat, just to have a new game.
We spoke about it on, I think, episode 2 or 3, and Colin is still accusing me of not liking it, no matter how many times I play it with a smile on my face and a jingle in my step.
Well,
he's like,
if my life has taught me anything, it's that the greatest crime you can do is not liking the right things in the right proportions. So it's not enough just to like something. You have to like it the same amount and more or less than.
I'm not enthusing enough.
Yes.
No, I think what it was is I was convinced that a certain kind of combination of cards meant that that's definitely the murderer. I was so annoyed when I was wrong, because I managed to convince 2 or 3 other people at the time, and I was just like, well, they think I'm right, and it's like, I'm sorry, it's not what I've got on the card. So, no, Mysterium's really good, and I think it's they've got an expansion that's out as well, so I played it recently. Yeah, for somebody who doesn't like a game, I did play that recently, about 2-3 weeks ago, with a new expansion that adds kind of more art, and it is it's beautiful looking. It really is a nice game, and it's also another one that's I think, as we said in our earlier episode, it's one of these it's really easy for anybody to kind of pick up and play. But again, it ties in with Codenames, because it's, as you said, it's interpretation.
Yeah, it is. That's what I like in games, especially for this retreat, where like we'll play at least one like really heavy, crunchy game, but I'm just committed to losing that one. So like, you know, I'll do my best, but somebody who's at the table knows how to play it already, so they've got such a huge advantage. And I like these kind of smaller games where it does feel like anybody's thing. And then I gravitate towards cooperative games as well. I'm I'm a gentle soul. So
you're not a dark soul then.
No. I'm very much a bright soul.
I went there. Yeah, I know. I said you shouldn't, but I did anyway, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, Mysterium's pretty good.
Cool.
We had a lot of fun with Mysterium, and you should do too. That and Dixit. Dixit's another game.
Oh,
which
yeah.
is kind of along the same lines, which again is all about how somebody looks at a squiggle and thinks it's a squirrel.
That's great.
Thing, which is all kind of good.
And this is
But yeah, no, you'll like Mysterium. Yeah, we had as I say, I got accused of hating it. Which I wasn't. I was just having, like, it was a Friday that we normally go to the club, and I was a little bit tired, and and I wasn't concentrating fully, and then I just got frustrated. But it's one of these things.
Every time you talk about going to the club, I picked up through context clues what you mean, but I initially was thinking of you just pouring bottles on top models and drinking 40s with the shorties.
I'm taking my counters and I'm just sticking them in all different types of places.
Yeah,
What, you rolled a 12?
Yeah. You're just tucking meeples into G-strings. And,
I'm just like, watch my dexterity. I've got plus 10 on that baby. What we used to do is, down at the club we have got actually play with
Will.i.am
and Britney Spears.
Exactly.
So that's what we do.
Fergie
but
she
just Fergie's through, and she plays Warhammer.
Oh yeah, Warmer Hordes is what her nickname is.
Well, that's just how she rolls.
Yeah,
she's a Horus Heresy girl, and she won't have anybody tell her anything different.
You'd be surprised how good Chingy is at Ticket to Ride. So
he's mad. He's getting all those stations. Yeah. He's getting all those carriages. But yeah, I mean, the only problem is, Britney Spears will only say the one thing. So, if there's any kids playing with us, we just have to, say, shh,
no,
Britney, stop it. Stop it with the B word.
Yeah.
So isn't that kind of club? It is that kind of club.
Gotcha. That's how I've been imagining it.
No, I think I said, but no, I mentioned another. The club is called Dwarf. It's called Dwarf. I think I talked about it with Paddy. And he said he dug out the advert, which is in the back of Tabletop Gaming Monthly, and he's like, hang on, I've seen an advert for these fellows. It stands for the Dunfermline Warhammer and Role Playing Fellowship.
That's pretty amazing.
That would have been some AGM. You can imagine, how do we get this working? But so they're so when I go to the club. It's like I say, obviously it's the same thing with my wife. You're not going to that club again, are you?
Yeah.
And it's like, no, I'm going to a proper club tonight. I'm going out drinking, dancing. So is that the kind of club you want me to go to, or do you want to go and hang around with the guys?
Hang at the dwarves, yeah,
and look at the picture cards?
Club dwarf, or pretend to be an elf.
Exactly. I'm a dwarf, but I'm an elf trying to get out. But I mean, yeah. we better move on.
Yeah,
because this is just, you're going to a place I can't follow, Anakin. One of the things that we do talk about is, and we have a section of the show called Give It a Kick. Now, I am not about to talk about, there's lots of Kickstarters out there, and we always mention a couple, but you yourself were involved in a Kickstarter recently, which was all about Souls of Darkness.
That's true.
Do you want to tell people a little bit about it? Just
I designed a book that I would never be able to explain to my parents. So the idea is I don't know if these were available on your side of the ocean, but when I was a young man, there were these books called the Worlds of Power books, and they were really attractive as a kid because they were based on Nintendo games. So I had Nintendo fever, nearly died, and from it. And so when I was at school, the bookmobile would come around, which I don't know if that's a universal concept either.
There's
a bookmobile. Okay.
Yeah, there's the same guy from my high school that's still driving the bookmobile.
Oh, that's. I was gonna say fantastic, and then I realized it's possible that's very sad. I don't know if that's good or bad.
I think he's got to the point where you can just walk up to him and say, "Have you got John Grisham the partner?"
Yeah.
And he just looks at you and goes, "Hardback or paperback?"
He says the owl flies at midnight.
Exactly.
So in the bookmobile, I used to pick up these books, and they're they're based on Nintendo games, and I always really love them. And it's a weird kind of thing from my childhood. So I decided to write a parody one of those. But because I didn't want to write it about an existing Nintendo game, I decided to make one up. And because I know Dark Souls and love Dark Souls, I made it as if Dark Souls were a Nintendo game. So Souls of Darkness is the name of the Nintendo version of Dark Souls.
That was an imaginative stretch.
Yes, it was. It needed to be obvious enough that people would know. It had to have that dog whistle effect for Dark Souls people. And then, so it is a story about a little girl who loves Dark Souls, like she's really involved in the community, or Souls of Darkness, and then gets sucked into her TV, chasing after her baby sister. Her baby sister gets sucked into the TV after she discovers a secret.
Like Games Master.
Sure.
Because that was the Nintendo kind of whole thing. It was about the boy that got sucked into the game, and there was Mega Man in it, and there was Mother Brain was the main bad one. So
Captain N, the Game Master.
Was it? Yeah. I didn't realize that when I was watching it, I was actually being proactively sold to.
It's a time story. I went back and did that for marketing. So I did the Kickstarter, and it went really well. I went really high over my initial goal. I was able to do it and make all of the extra stuff I wanted to make. So the idea being that if this was a game and a book that came out in the 90s, there would be 90s marketing stuff. So I made trading cards and stickers and pogs and all of that jazz.
That was all very, very cool.
Yeah, it was cool. I was really happy to be able to do it. And Nick Daniel was the artist, and he did a really good job. And I was, it was good to be able to raise enough money to give, to compensate him fairly. Like, I believe, I don't want artists to work for free, ever. And he wouldn't have either. Like, I'm saying that, like, I did that as a charity. I didn't, but I was glad that it was successful enough that everybody was fairly compensated for their work. And I've been selling them since, with the goal of doing another one in the series. So my hope is to eventually have a series of these little books that look the same. Like on a bookshelf, they will look identical, just like the Worlds of Power books do on my bookshelf, but are all these little comedy books about fake Nintendo games.
And they're not. They're not huge. It's not a huge, heavy kind of tome thing. It's a nice little pocket-sized. There's a lot of kind of nostalgia kind of thing. The color scheme a little bit reminded me of the Steve Jackson, Ian Livingstone kind of choose your own adventure kind of. Oh,
sure, the fighting
color.
Fantasy.
Yeah. I kind of, it was a little bit of a trip down memory lane. I kind of a book. No, I've read it. It was good fun.
Thanks.
It was good fun. It was light, and it was it's available now as well still if you search for Souls of Darkness as well.
If you go to powerworlds.com, which is the website I set up for it, and that's going to be the website. If I get to make more of them, that will have all of them. And the website is set up as if it were from that time as well. So I had help from somebody who helped me set up the website who can't, I can't give them credit because it's against their job for them to do work outside of their job. Right, okay. But I didn't do this all myself. Somebody helped me, and special thanks to that particular person who I cannot name.
Yeah.
Mysterious stranger.
The mysterious stranger.
Yeah.
Do you, I mean, in terms of other Kickstarters, have you ever looked at backing anything kind of board game related, or is that something that you've kind of left it? I mean, I suppose being involved in a Kickstarter yourself, did it make you kind of browse a bit more kind of the Kickstarter stuff out there, or have you never backed anything yourself?
I've backed a lot of games kind of throughout time. Like I backed Shadowrun Returns and Pillars of Eternity. Like this kind of new wave of computer RPG has been totally my jam. So like I've backed those. Thimbleweed Park, the new Ron Gilbert adventure game in the Maniac Mansion style.
I saw somebody mention that just today. I'm going to check it out. I've not, for some reason, I've not backed any kind of video game Kickstarters. I don't know why. I guess because when I see a board game product, I'm always like, well, I can see that product. So
and you get a thing. Like a lot of the video game ones are just digital downloads, and that's fine. Like you want to do that so the creator that you like can make stuff, but it's not as exciting as actually getting something in the mail.
Yeah.
You know?
I know. I think I don't know what we've got coming soon. I mean, we occasionally back one or other coming in. I mean, I know we mentioned kind of Kickstarters a lot on the show, but we try to back where we can, but then you'd end up kind of throwing money like left, right, and centre. But yeah, no, I mean, it's good. Kickstarters are good stuff. Yeah. I mean, obviously with that, the other thing that we do is we kind of do shout outs. I didn't realise, I'm looking at the time now, and we're kind of I've talked a little bit longer than I expected.
Every podcast I'm on ends up being 3 hours, so buckle up. I wanted to kind of what I wanted to do is I wanted to say, well, I'm conscious I'm taking up your time, and I went, do I want to just milk him for every single thing? Do I want to just leave a husk of a Gary Butterfield kind of lying there? A straw.
Kole calling a calf.
Yeah, I'll leave a calf.
Kole calling you up and going, Gary, and you just like try to reach for the computer, try to send a back message.
We're not wizards.
Just tell them to get stuffed.
Yeah, just tell them that I hate Dark Souls 3.
You know what? I'm gonna edit that out.
Oh no, you can bleep it.
Exactly, just for a laugh, just so nobody does. And then I'm gonna like go along and go, did you hear this, guys?
Yes.
Did you hear? I've got proof here, guys.
You can blackmail me.
What for?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm just gonna put it out in the open.
It's true. Just watch the world burn.
Well, somebody's gotta. We can't all be nice. No, that's not true. That's not true. We'll try to get back on script here, because if this is going to be another 2 hours, then I better get comfy. I should have worn my jogging bottoms. I should have worn my comfy trousers. Shout outs. We do shout outs now. Obviously you mentioned Souls of Darkness, but I know you from Duckfeed, as I mentioned on the intro. I mean, that's the other thing I'd like to know is there's, tell us a little bit about the work you do on Duckfeed TV, because the amount of content that you put out there, frankly, scares me a bit when you press, because it's like I'll go into, because I on the Twitter account, I'm always shouting out other podcasts and stuff like that, because I think that, you get the word out for other people, and that's the way things that should be. But you just seem to be constantly putting out content all the time.
Yeah, we do a lot of shows. And I think I was thinking about that recently, about why that is, and how that kind of came to be. And I think part of it is just me and Kole both are the kind of person who gets an idea, and then like the idea kind of gets stuck in your teeth, and until you actually make it happen. And so that's part of it. And the other thing is that we're both, and I think I can speak for both of us, like immensely and powerfully grateful that we get to do this. So like for the first time in my life, with the podcast doing as well as it does, I have that, and I have a part-time job as well. But I like both of my jobs. That has never happened to me before. I have grown up my entire life hating work and hating every job I've ever been in. And now it's like, because people are very generous with their money and support the podcast, we're able to do that. So when we come up, there's a lot of new shows that we come up with where we just are like, hey, this is going to be a Patreon goal, because we want to give, the worst thing in the world is that anybody feels like they're, not getting what they put into it. And we want people to feel good about supporting us. And this is something we can do. Like, we can make stuff and we can goof around, and people like it. And this is a currency that we have that we can give back.
So for those who say they're coming to you via us, which because like we've got a user base that that hasn't heard of you, that probably because I'm on Slack enough going, go and come, please listen to my show, please listen to my show, and they're like, no. Tell us a little bit of the type of stuff, kind of the shows that you're doing on DuckFeed.
So the two, or I guess like kind of three primary ones. The first one that we did together was Watch Out for Fireballs, coming up on the 5th anniversary of that, which is very fun. And that is an old games book club that was born out of me and Kole. He had the network, but it was really just 2 shows that he did. And I used to listen. We met each other on Something Awful on that forum, on a podcast, a workshop thread where we'd listen to each other's things. I was doing my own podcast and he was doing his own. And on his show, The Level, he used to talk about kind of old 16-bit games, and nobody had played them.
Yeah.
So I was like, I've played those. Like, what if, hey, you should have me on there for a guest, or we should do like a retro show.
Yeah. Okay.
And it kind of came from that. And that's been going for 5 years, and is I'm very proud of it, and really into it. A couple years into that, we started doing Bonfireside Chat, which is about Dark Souls. It is area by area exploration of Dark Souls. That was born out of Watch Out for Fireballs, was born out of us talking about Dark Souls in the margins of those episodes. Because you find somebody you can talk about Dark Souls with, you're going to talk about Dark Souls.
We've done it exceptionally well, kind of not having it being the.
I'm amazed.
No, we've it's been fine. I mean, nobody's mentioned the Kickstarter.
Yeah, exactly. That shall not be named.
Nobody's not going about it.
So the started Bonfireside Chat, and that's been going for a couple of years, and that's also been really amazing. Like, I've got to meet a lot of really cool people because we have guests on that show, and it's had really like a good reach. Like, it is a popular show. And then the other kind of the third highest thing we do, or third most listened to, and we do a lot of different shows, is a show called Abject Suffering, which is our comedy show that we do that is ostensibly about bad games, but not really. It's about kind of tangents and stuff, but that's just a chance for us to kind of goof around. And those are the 3 main ones we do. But if you go to duckfeed.tv, you'll see everything else. There are blogs. There are other comedy shows. There are a couple of other game shows, and a lot of them are exclusive to or come out for free for people who are patrons. So if you go to patreon.com/duckfeedtv, and kick us a couple of bucks a month, you'll get a lot of extra stuff. We want to make sure you feel good about even the people who give us a lot of money. Like, there are people who give us $25 a month, which is amazing to me. Those people, I want them to get a lot of stuff back. Just because that's a lot of money, and it is again, it has been a life-changing thing.
That's how we kind of like got talking. Well, no, because I must have sat at the keyboard going, right, I deleted the message about 15 times just to say, Gary, do you want to go on the podcast about board games? No, that sounds stupid. Gary, I just sent Gary question mark, and you went, "What do you want?"
Yeah, and it's just like, fine, I'll do your thing. Yeah. I mean, I like doing stuff like this. It doesn't. It's very flattering that people would be nervous to talk to me, but I don't. I try to be open about stuff like this because like this stuff is fun. Like it's fun for me. It's not. I don't feel like I'm doing you a favor. Like it is fun to chat about board games. It's always a good laugh. You know. Me and Colin have decided that kind of like we do our thing. We have our thing with our episodes, and we like our little setup. But also, we've come to realise quite quickly that when we said to people, there's a podcast that we're going to do about board games and we can get people on, and we've had people saying, well, I'd like to come on and talk about that, because even though you know me through video games, I do play board games as well, so it's become a little bit of a nice little kind of thing that's kind of grown, and we have a laugh and we have fun with it, and we're not doing it for, you know, anything kind of massive, except to come on, talk for an hour, and hopefully some people will listen. So we'll see where it goes. It's all kind of good fun. Where can if people want to find you, where's the easiest place for them to find you? Yeah. So the best place, like the place where I most often interact with people is on Twitter. If you want to follow me on Twitter, at GaryBuh, at Gary Buh. The other way you can get in touch with me is just through duckfeed.tv. There's a contact email there as well. Yes. And then Duckfeed, all the different Duckfeed properties have Facebook pages and the like. And I'm in that Slack channel, which we mentioned a couple times. That is something that we have for patrons only. It is a very positive message board. Right now it's about 500 people and growing, and it's just a bunch of sweethearts. So the community is really just so. It's just warm. It's a warm, fuzzy place where you can go. It's kind of like Cheers. Basically. Yeah, it was this last weekend. I met a bunch of people who I only knew through Slack, and it was amazing how not weird it was. Like having Slack as kind of a basis. They weren't strangers. It's like, once I knew their kind of username, and I was like, I remembered all the interactions I had with them. Yeah. And it was so positive and heartwarming. And then those people who know each other through the Slack were talking about after the meetup, like getting together to play D&D or getting together once a month to have dinner and stuff, even after we're gone, like not as part of the network, just going and hanging out. And that was just really heartening. It felt very heavy and real. This idea cool. That like, it's really cool that these people are getting together. And if I can claim to have a portion of authorship over that, that's I've done my good deed for this lifetime. You can shine yourself a badge up and just say, "That'll do, pig." Yeah, I did. I did that. There you go. Yeah. Well, I mean, I've got to thank you for spending the time, because it's obviously it's still mid-afternoon for you, so you've got the rest of the day. It's true. Because I have this Peter Pan like lifestyle where I make most of my own hours. It's actually early for me. You could just go. I stay up very late. I'm just gonna get myself a cup of tea and get myself some breakfast, and then I'm gonna hang about, and then I'm gonna get to work, but I'm gonna do it slowly in a bathrobe. So that's the nice thing. So I'm gonna go around today, and I'm gonna have funny hair. Yep, exactly. It's amazing when you get to work from home some days, how little you have to wash your hair. It's pretty sweet. You can do like the Kevin out of Home Alone and just stick different hearing products. Just have it sticking off, having horns. But we have fun. I have fun when I'm just here now, especially now that my roommate who works from home is not here, and it's just me here. I just you just sit about. Those 6 hours are mine. I should feel lucky you've got a bathrobe on. I guess. It's yeah. Wow. Okay, see, usually in Bonfireside Chat you have like fancy music, and then you go as usual. We had to let XYZ go, so you have the and you come back and you go, okay, so we had to let Gary go there. So I'm just gonna do some so if you can, I don't know if you can sing in the background or something, Gary. No, I mean, thanks very much for coming on. For those who want to
find out about us, you can follow us on Twitter at We're Not Wizards. We have a Facebook page, which is facebook.com/We're Not Wizards. You can find us on Acast and iTunes and Stitcher, and we're also on Instagram as well. So it's instagram.com/We're Not Wizards as well. So you can track us down there. Apart from that, thanks again, Gary.
Oh, absolutely.
It's been fun.
Yeah, it's been really fun.
Yeah.
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 No, it's been very fun. So yeah. It has been fun. I appreciate the opportunity.
So okay, just to steal a line from Bonfireside Chat, what should they do in the meantime? Or do you usually ask Kole, don't you?
I usually ask Kole, yeah, and he prepares in advance most days. So
all right, well, you tell you what, you can ask me.
Okay,
and I'll try and come up with something.
Okay, all right. What should we do until next time, Richard?
You should concentrate on being a better spy.
Umbasa.
We'll let them go. That'll be fine. They haven't noticed the thing. We don't even have music. Oh, we do. We've got a song at the end.
Oh, yeah. You guys got to get music. I was going to say, if you guys don't have any music,
No, I've got to do a song at the end.
Let me know.
So we're just going to
whip up something, because you guys got to have music. It's not a podcast about music.
Oh, yeah, but I usually sing the outro. But I'm not going to bother this time. But anyway, thanks again. Remember, we are many things, but we're not wizards. We're not wizards. Are we, Gary? Are we wizards?
No, I'm not, I wish. but I'm not.
Okay, bye for now.
Right.
Thanks.